All right, it is Tuesday the 18th, and we're going to have a small project starting today. Last week I asked some of my classes, hey, what would you like to do? It's so open-ended. Choose any project. And they said, that's the hard part. We don't like to choose. We just want to have you assign something, and then we'll do it. But the open-ended nature leaves some people frozen at the beginning. So today I'm just going to give you something and say, hey, let's do this. It's not the giant final semester PBL. It's just a little thing for a couple days. And what it's going to be is, oops, I already made a typo in the draft, which is I said Monday because I forgot. It's Tuesday. We're going to make a program that does Morse code. Okay, you're going to have the user type in some English or Spanish or French or whatever that uses our alphabet. And then it's going to change it into ... Morse code. Okay. Morse code was probably the first electric, almost binary style communication because you only have two signals. You have short and long. Dot or dash is usually how we say it. And every letter has a corresponding combination of those things. So E is a dot. E is the most common letter in a lot of languages, so they made it the easiest one. And then X and Q and the least common ones have a slightly longer thing. That was originally done with wires going across Virginia or whatever, and a little button on one end. You go tap, 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 and then somebody on the other end will hear did it, did it, did it, did it, and either look at a chart and translate it, or after a while they would get good and just know it by the audio in their heads. However, you can do this signal any way you want. People can tap on the wall to plan their escape with the next prisoner, and so you're doing Morse code by sound. Or you can flash a light on your ship and say SOS across the fog, so you can do it visually. The signal is the same regardless of the medium, you know? So you're going to make a little program where the user types something and it spits out the Morse code translation. We could have done this months ago. We could have done this a year ago with some really long code that just says, if it's A, turn it into this. If it's B, turn it into this. If it's C, all the way down the line. But we're going to try to use something a little more interesting, a little more appropriate, a little more efficient. Maybe some data structures we've seen recently. And in fact, I'm going to add one rule. I'm going to add one restriction just to make it fun. I'm going to say no ifs. Okay? No if or elif or else in your code. Obviously, those things are fine and those things are great, and they have a million wonderful places they can go. But I want to free our minds and be a little more creative and come up with some more efficient ways. So don't think I'm saying there's anything wrong with ifs and we're going to stop using them. They're great. We're going to use them all the time. But for this, I thought it'd be interesting. Now, this is going to take probably 2 or 3 days, and you can have a group of 2 or 3 people. You can do it alone if you like. I know we always have somebody ask. But today, after we have some intro, I'm going to say, okay, start a doc, and it's going to list who's in your group, just so we know. And then list the steps you need in your code. Whenever you see me do an example, like last quarter when I was showing tic-tac-toe or whatever, I would always do comments, you know, hashtag XYZ, do what we need. We need to get the input, put it through the ringer, make it correct, send it to this function, which is going to do XYZ, send it to this one, which is going to make it pretty, print it out, ask if they want to go again, blah, blah, blah. So today we want to get all that planning, and then you can start writing the code. I'm sure we'll have a little bit of time, but that'll be the next step. I'm going to end this video now and keep it super short, and then we'll get started. Thanks.